Yeah, what up, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing good. I did want to make a video about the importance of letting doors close. Because we all have watched Rick and Morty. We all are familiar with that show. It's been around for a while. But I remember there was a very interesting scene in that where they talk about how no one belongs anywhere. One day we're not going to be on this planet anymore. And I get that that leaves a message of not wasting your time. And that's a really good thing. That's something I would agree with a nihilist on is, or a positive nihilist at least. Don't waste your time. But I do believe that life does have purpose, whether we want to believe it or not. Now, if you were to go back 10 years and ask younger me, does life have a purpose? I would say no. And the reason I don't think that anymore is because the more I'm willing to let certain doors in my life close, the more I feel the doors that were meant to swing open in my life have happened. And it's happened in multiple occasions. I've had best friends, relationships, just work environments, different types of gyms that I've been at. I think like the number one thing I could talk about would be when I left my first jiu-jitsu gym, because that's the most relevant. I love BJJ. It's a great sport. Really built up my self-worth. I wish it was around sooner, or it was more popular sooner, so I could have gotten into it as a kid. But we can't get our time back like that. However, at my first gym, there was a two-tier system. If the professor was your friend and he liked you, he'd really spend time building you up and investing. And if not, you were expected to just pay the bill, and if you stopped paying the bill, you were basically done. And I was paying the bill there, and I forgot that I was paying the bill. And I bought the lie that we were all friends over there, and, some things happened. Drama kicked off, and eventually I had to vacate because the one guy I was learning under became a shell of his former self, and it just kind of turned out that I was kind of sick of, feeling like I should have to ask the guy I'm paying to teach me to actually teach me. And then what happened is I switched gyms to an environment that was everything I was hoping the first gym was. A fair chance. And it wasn't about winning or losing or belts or anything like that, like they try to make it seem when I walked out the first gym. In fact, I'm glad I did close that door. Because the second I let that door close, the second all of the rumors started spreading. That's when I heard a lot of crazy and twisted things through the grapevine that I can't prove, but it got me to look at that gym a separate way because I was allowed to see that gym for what it was. I was allowed to see that gym for what it was when I wasn't giving it money. But at this new one, I felt like I was getting more training. I felt like I was getting more of what I was worth. I felt like my game had shot up because my professor over at that one was actually a passionate teacher, and he wanted to make sure everybody, whether you were a high-level competitor or a guy who was just a hobbyist, was growing. He wanted to make sure you were getting your money's worth. And you know what the thing was? He was really good at that. He cared. And you know what? He still does. I still train under him because the guy is a legend. The guy is a really down-to-earth person who wants to make sure everyone succeeds in their own right, even though, there's only 3 spots on that podium. But what was more revealing was seeing how my ex-teammates responded after even though I never insulted anyone on the way out, I said, hey, I just am looking for a place that's more my fit. Wish you guys the best. And then you see everybody unfollow you. You see some people, be passive aggressive with you when you see them at tournaments and stuff like that. You go to your open mat and you see your old professor there, and he tells one of your former teammates specifically to get away from you. And it's eye-opening because you had to see that this door that was never in my life, that was never supposed to be open in my life, what they really thought of me as soon as I walked out that gym. And I will always be grateful for it. And now I'm starting to see the same thing with careers and stuff like that, where, no, I haven't reached my final resting spot yet. I don't even think there is a final resting spot when it comes, because you should always be educating yourself or learning or something like that. But something was out of whack. I was working 2 jobs. I was happy. I was excelling. But I said, God, if you want me to move on, give me a reason on Monday why I should. And I got a lot of reasons on Monday. I was blamed for the actions of what someone else did that really had nothing to do with me, and I had to make a choice. Sit there and take the accusation, or move on, show some self-respect, and listen to the plan. And I did. And I think things kind of opened up in other realms the very next day. So if I were to compare myself, my past self, to my current self, I would tell my past self, don't buy the lie that you have to make a door that's meant to close stay open. Because that's the thing about this whole thing, where with the nihilism, I'm going to circle back to that. It causes people to think you have to make the present moment work. Otherwise, you're just going to be dust in the wind. And what happens is people end up in environments that they don't feel welcome in. They end up in very abusive relationships sometimes. And they just end up in poor working conditions and everything like that, never acknowledging to themselves that they deserve to be treated like human beings. And if you take anything from what I am telling you, if you are in a position or you feel like you are holding a door open that is not meant to stay open, you got to let it close and then find the door that's meant to be wide open for you so you can walk in that room and be where you need to be. Because especially the 2020s show me how short life is and how things can just change. And if you do not enjoy what you are actually doing, like actually enjoying it, actually be passionate. Now, my life path might be very different. It is going to be it will be very different from what everyone else has. But we do have a life that we are meant to live. And if you're out of that element that you are on this planet to become in, the more time you just spend being unhappy. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about the doors in your life that you are holding open, because it's exhausting. Are you holding it open just because it's easier? Because I guarantee you let that door close and you get through that other door, let it open, you will, I repeat, you will probably be in a better place. And you might have to go through a few doors, I can't make promises for your life. But I can guarantee you one thing: you hold doors open that are not meant to be held open. If you are staying with that partner that is not making you happy, if you're with those friends who don't have the same ambitions as you, if you're in that job that just doesn't value you, let that door close. Peace.